And speaking of books, I have with me a young author. I love this, a junior in college, already an author. I love this, it's so cool. Amy Lightfoot, and I want to talk about this book because it's really unique.
Yes.
It's about autistic children.
I grew up with a cousin who has autism, and she's on the spectrum. She's pretty severe. And I met her when I was 5. My aunt moved to Honduras as a missionary and ended up adopting my cousin Lillian. And I met her when I was 5, first Christmas that we had them over, and my mom warned me before she got there that my cousin was going to be a little different than me. So I ended up thinking of ways to play with her, and I wasn't quite sure what to do, so my mom said just play with her like she's a normal child. And so I ended up just twirling around with her because she likes to twirl around, and I ended up flapping things because she likes to flap things, and that's kind of where our friendship began, and it's grown since then. She's 28, I'm 21 now, and our relationship has grown into this friendship that I wouldn't trade for the world. And when I was applying for college, there was a lot of questions about what inspires you, what has made you, what's driven you in life, what's made you want to do the degree you want to do. And I ended up thinking about that, and it always came back to my cousin Lily. And she inspired me from when I was 5 on to love those who have differences from me and to appreciate their differences. And while we were writing all these essays out, my mom ended up saying, this would be a really great children's book. And I was like, you're right, it would be a great children's book. So this last Christmas, when my aunt, Christy, and my cousin Lily were in town with us in Colorado Springs, we ended up writing the book. And it took about 6 months to write it and get it published. So that's been such an exciting ride.
Most authors would be so jealous because it usually doesn't happen that quickly. That's awesome. One of the things that I love about your book are the illustrations. Unbelievable. Talk about who did those.
Well, my aunt works with a Bible translations project down in Honduras. She's translating the Bible into Honduran Sign Language with a really great group of people down there. And one of those people, his name is Teofilo Padilla, and he is a deaf man who is a graphic designer. And so while we were writing the words for the book, we were trying to think of how we can illustrate it. Do we want to put real pictures in? And then my aunt said, oh, I know someone who's very talented and who knows Lillian, who knows me, and would want to work with us. And so he ended up taking real pictures from our childhood, from when we were growing up, and he put them into illustrations in this book.
I didn't realize those were from real pictures,
Yes.
but they're really good illustrations.
Yes,
I
he's
love it.
very talented.
Yes, he is. And one of the things I really like about the book, too, it's in more than just English.
Yes, it's also in Spanish because, I mean, it makes sense. My cousin is from Honduras, where the main language is Spanish. And so we wanted to be able to reach out to all the demographics that touch her life as well.
Do you speak Spanish fluently?
I do not, but I'm working on sign language.
Are you? Oh, that's really neat.
Yes.
You know, what are you hoping? Because one of the things you talked about earlier was the fact that you are so inspired by this person and that people with differences we should accept. Is that what you're hoping this book will help people do, or what's the goal of it?
One of the main goals we had when writing this book was to not say the word autism in the book, because it is for children. And if you just say autism, no child is going to fully understand what that means. And like my mom did to me when I was 5, she said just play with her like she's a normal kid. And so the main point of the book is to tell other children to not be afraid of someone who's different than them, just because, you know, Lillian doesn't like to make eye contact, but when she does make eye contact, that's her showing love. Just because she can't talk doesn't mean she's not trying to communicate with you. And so I wanted to give that to other children and say, it's okay that someone's different than you. Just show them love and reach out to them like they're a human being, and you guys will have a great life. So that's kind of the whole purpose of it.
I love that. You're light years ahead of me. What's sad is and I know things have changed, but when I was back in school, those children were segregated, they were put in a corner and they'd stare at the wall, and it's amazing now that there's more acceptance, and I appreciate the fact that you're trying to create even more of that.
Yes,
That's
I'm
really
very
powerful.
happy about that movement too.
So how do we get a hold of this book?
This book is available on Amazon and at Barnes & Noble online.
And proceeds go to?
The proceeds are going to go to Lillian. All the proceeds go to Life in Honduras with her and helping out my aunt, who is a single mom of Lillian. So all the proceeds go to help out my family.
And I give kudos to your aunt too, because a lot of people don't want to adopt special needs children, and that's really neat that she was willing to do that.
Yes, I mean, they they had just had an instant connection. My aunt met her in a hospital in Honduras when she was very little, and she was in the burn unit of that hospital. My aunt just fell in love with her instantly, and they've never gone back. I think they just celebrated their 17 years together.
Wow.
So yes, it's been wonderful, and she's been the hugest blessing to our family.
Well, and you've been a blessing to her too, so that's really neat.
I hope so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.